Welcome to the Fast Mode podcast series. I'm Tara Neil, and with me today is Ambuj Kumar, co-founder and CEO of Simbian. Simbian is a mission-driven AI security company based in Mountain View, California. Simbian offers AI agents that work alongside security operations teams and autonomously handle 90% of tasks in areas such as the SOC and threat hunting. This enables security teams to scale their security, devote time to strategic decisions, and put defenders back on top. Ambuj is a recognized leader in the cryptography space with more than 30 patents in the field and multiple successful startups. Ambuj was also the lead architect at Cryptography Research Inc., where he led and developed many of the company's security technologies that go into millions of devices every year. Ambuj joins us as part of our exclusive editorial segment on generative AI for network management. Welcome, Ambuj. Great to have you on today's episode.
It's my pleasure.
Awesome. Okay, to start, we want to talk about something that's really interesting and something, a kind of a trending topic, which is the use of AI, right? So for network security, what is the use of AI? I know it's kind of basic, but you can elaborate on the trends in this area and also the opportunities that it is presenting to, vendors as well as users alike.
Yeah, so network security is really interesting. There are lots of different tools, firewalls, routers, um, and you have complex infrastructure. You have domains, subdomains, internet, intranet, east-west traffic, northwest, north-south traffic. And how do you control all of that? How do you ensure that connectivity works at the same time you are keeping bad things out? So what we have is we have lots of firewalls, lots of network devices, and these things they create alerts. So they see something bad happening, they start to blink, and you need people to go and service them. And so this network operation, it's very time consuming, very expensive process. And with AI, now we have a chance to create a software that can go and do most of this work. So that's the opportunity we have.
Wow, sounds awesome. So once it detects the alerts, right? Do you still need a human to verify whether those alerts are legit, or sometimes there are a lot of false positives? So is AI again used in that process?
Yeah, great question. So indeed, a significant percentage, like 95% of typical alerts are false positive, meaning that they did not have a real business impact for you. And but you had your people spend time, triaging them, and only after triage they find out that it's false
Yes,
positive.
yes.
Now we can have Symbian AI agents that can go and do that for you at fraction of cost and 24/7, 365 days a year. Um, and great thing is that they can triage and investigate alerts. They can also respond. So, for example, you determine that something is true positive, and there is a there is a bad IP address out there that was creating some traffic or doing port scan or something like that. Now you want to block that port in your firewall. And earlier, you needed somebody that was expert on Palo Alto or Cisco. Now you don't. Now our AI agents know how to do that, so they will go and do it for you. And when it comes to ensuring that they are reliable and trustworthy, and do you need human in the loop or not, it's just a software quality issue. So if the software is buggy, then it's not reliable. So maybe in the beginning you need to monitor, but once you are confident that it's fine, then you can let it go. And it's not that humans are perfect. Humans make mistakes too.
Yep, yep.
And what we have found that it's really interesting is that we are already performing at superhuman levels, meaning that chances that our software makes errors are much lower than a typical human that you will get out there.
Wow. Sounds amazing, right? So, we are using AI, which means that we are using a machine that's already thought about certain patterns and what has occurred in the past. What if they are completely new trends in security threats, like something that we have not seen before? Would it be able to signal something? Would it be able to sniff it out?
Yeah, indeed, it can because the basics of cybersecurity are really simple. There are three things that matter. One is called confidentiality, meaning that I have some private data I don't want you to see.
Yep.
Another is called availability, that I have my application running. I don't want you to come and crash it. And third one is called integrity, meaning that I don't want you to come and corrupt my data. And all the other things in security are built upon these three, axioms. So what we have done, we have trained our AI to reason from first principles. And so, absolutely, in fact, one of the exciting things we are doing for a customer was that they wanted us to do threat hunt, meaning that come in our environment, see if things are bad. And in the beginning, we're like, yeah, I mean, you tell us, what kind of threats are you interested in, and we'll go and hunt for it. And they were like, no, that's not what we want you to do. We can use humans for that. We want your agents to look at everything we have and then figure out things that no human can do. And so we're like, oh, that's interesting. And then we started to do that, and then we found that yes, with AI, you can look for new threats for which you have no
Wow.
indicators, and no human can do that because for one person to understand all those things, they need to have so much information from so many domains that their mind would explode. But AI does not have that problem.
Wow. So that brings a completely new value, right? That this not just augmenting whatever we had before, it brings a new value altogether. So
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah. So okay, now let's look at the other thing, which I think you know very well, which is the use of generative AI, right? So which adds on to these capabilities. Would you like to share how that's shaping how threat hunting and the detection is going these days?
yeah, absolutely. So the biggest benefit of generative AI or large language models to cybersecurity is that earlier it was kind of black box. So you sent it some signals and then it told you whether it's good and bad. And trouble is that no software is perfect. So sometimes it would make mistakes. Other times, even when it's fine, you want to know that, hey, like what's interesting about this thing that you are not liking it. And it was black box. It could only tell you good and bad, nothing else. And that also had people worried that what happens if somebody has intentionally put some back door in that classification software where packets from their like domain is always classified good. Now with Gen AI, that problem goes away because with generative AI, explainability is really easy. So it tells you that certain things are bad, and then it gives you why. And it may say that, okay, look, the traffic is coming from an IP address that is malicious. Maybe it has done lots of port scan that you don't like to do. Maybe it's trying to communicate to one particular user that is unusual. So it gives you all the reasonings. And as a human, then you can look at it and you can agree or disagree, but you get the control. So it restores a lot more trust in software compared to previous approaches.
I think you raised a very important concept, the explainability. You know how it explains whatever results that you get from AI. And then when you have Gen AI, it basically explains it way better for humans to comprehend. Apart from that, we have heard a lot about insecurity testing and so forth. The use of Gen AI to basically churn out some configurations and stuff. How does that work?
Yeah, so the way it works is that security is a very operations heavy domain. So meaning that to do pen testing or to patch a system or to hunt for threats or to triage an alert, you have lots of these workflows built. And these workflows, call them like playbooks. You write once, then you use it. Now, trouble is that like every single time there is a new, slightly different configuration or system or alert, and therefore you need to create a new type of workflows, and that's very problematic, very labor intensive process. With GenAI, you can automate those things. So your AI agent naturally has that reasoning capability, and it's generating those playbooks on the fly all the time, hundreds of them in a minute or in an hour. You don't even have to manage or monitor them. So lots of things that earlier required you to have like team of 5 people and spend like a week or two now can be done just like that.
Wow. Okay. So, expanding on that, we use AI with a lot of other networking functions as well. So, but when it comes to security, there are a few peculiarities, right? That we have to pay attention to. So, and also some challenges that are different from using it for maybe for compressing traffic or for network traffic management and stuff. So, can you elaborate on why using AI for security comes with its own, different pros and cons?
Yeah, a really good question. So the number one thing to realize in security is that pace of innovation is set by your adversary. So what does it mean? It means that let's say you work in finance industry or healthcare industry. You go talk to your boss and say that, hey, I want to use Gen AI. Your boss says, yeah, good job, go do that. And you will come out with your own timeline. You'll say that, okay, this month this is what we'll do. Next month this is what we'll do. Next year this is our roadmap. In security, it doesn't work that way because you can have your own roadmap, but attackers out there, they have their own roadmap. And those attackers today, they are using Gen AI to automate lots of different attacks. So they are sending phishing emails, they are sending realistic looking videos,
Yep.
they are creating fake websites, they are automatically finding vulnerabilities in your systems. So they are automating all those things. And so therefore, you also need to adopt AI really quickly. So you are being forced to do that because if they can create a problem that costs them 1 cent and you have to spend $10,000 responding to it, you will go bankrupt. So you must adopt AI. Um, and but at the same time, security has very little threshold for error. So what it means is that if you are blocking a firewall port and you end up blocking wrong port, or you got a true positive event, meaning that it was a real threat, and you misclassified as a false positive, you didn't pay attention, or you wanted to isolate an application, and instead of isolating your test environment, you ended up isolating your production environment, your business shuts down. So it's such a security is such a critical
Yep.
fundamental
Yep.
um, function that you cannot make lots of mistakes. So that's the challenge.
Wow. So that makes it all the more important. And I guess also a little bit, you need a little bit more attention when you use AI for security, right? Okay, so I think we have covered some of the main topics here. So maybe we want to learn a bit more about Symbian's offerings in this area, and especially your SOC agent, the threat hunt agent, and the questioning agent. Can you just share
Yeah.
more details?
Yeah, so Symbian is building AI agents for cybersecurity operations. So our goal is that we will create these AI agents, call it virtual employees or digital workers, whatever the term, that is powered by large language models. And they will do lots of work that humans do today. And that will enable humans to do things that our agents cannot do, or just review and manage these agents. So, as my previous boss, Jensen Wang says, future is engineers kind of doing HR management of these agents. So that's what will happen. And so one of our agent is AI SOC agent. And what it does is anytime you receive any alert from your SIM, your EDR, your XDR. So, for example, you might have CrowdStrike endpoint detection, you might have a Splunk, You might have Microsoft Sentinel, Microsoft Defender, IBM QRadar, Palo Alto XCM, any of these devices or software that generate alert. Our AI agent goes automatically, looks at those alerts, triages and investigates them, takes even actions needed to address the root cause, and it does all of those things automatically at a level that exceeds what humans do today. So that's our AI SOC agent, really, really powerful. And now we are in production at various large companies, including Fortune 50 company. One of our customers is Fortune 50, so at real scale. Our other agent is Threat Hunt agent. And what it does is it looks at all your environment and goes for threat hunting. It looks for indicators of compromise, things that could have gone bad, figures out if it finds anything, and if it does, then it brings you that to your attention and takes remediation.
And then the questionnaire agent, uh, what does that
Yeah,
agent do?
yeah. So we are building a GRC agent where one of the things we do is if you get like infosec questionnaire. So somebody is asking you what kind of systems you use. Do you use firewalls or not? We can automate it and give a response that is consistent with your environment without you doing anything.
Awesome. Okay, so I have one last thing to touch on this topic, which is what happens when threat actors themselves start using AI and Gen AI. I'm sure
Yeah,
they're
that's
already doing so.
that's great question. And my prediction is that AI will destroy internet as we know it, unless we can do some things on defense. Uh, because look, how do you know that you are talking to real Ambuj or it's a bot? And how do you know that you are real Tara or it's a bot? Or right? It's like really spooky. It's really spooky. But people who interact on LinkedIn, all that like messages, all those messages today are being written by humans. Most of the emails we receive today are still, if they are not spam, they are written by humans. Um, in 6 months from now, like most of those things would be done by bots. So, like you will see somebody's great profile on LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, wherever, and chances are very high that it's a bot. And they will, you just need to copy paste an URL to an attacker LLM. It will find out what applications are being used, find out vulnerabilities in those things, create a payload to exploit it, and do all of that before you could blink. And so AI will dismantle all our beliefs we have about internet and security and privacy, unless we can get ahead of attackers and automate defense. This is why it's so critical. This is why I'm making case for Symbian, that like really time is now to act on it, and we should automate anything and everything that we can do. That's why at least it will be level playing field. And then we have some of our secret sauces that I don't want to share too much, but it is possible to for defenders to have an upper edge compared to attackers, because defenders are inside. So it's like somebody invented like new gunpowder, and they are coming at your castle. So one, you also need to use gunpowder, which is AI.
Yes,
And then
yes.
since you are inside castle, you can be a little bit more protective. So
Yep.
I feel, I'm making a few assertions here. One, I feel that AI will destroy internet if we don't automate defense. And two, if we do automate defense and we are careful, then we might actually defeat all these these attackers, because some of the new capabilities that AI brings to the table.
Wow, that's sounds amazing. At the same time, it does sound a little bit scary, but I think we have got this because just the way we have handled all the technologies in the past, I'm sure that we will be working on both sides, and there'll be a lot of improvements in coming months and years as a lot more people adopt this, and we can see all the vulnerabilities and we start tackling them head on. So thanks a lot, Ambuj, for making your time today, for sharing all these awesome insights, especially on AI and generative AI in network security and also Symbian's solutions in this space.
Sure, I enjoyed chatting with you.
Awesome. And to everyone tuning in, thank you guys for listening. If you want to learn more, visit www.symbian.ai and follow us for more updates and insights as we continue to uncover the latest in technology and telecommunications. See you in our next session. Bye bye.